My girlfriend told me to stay quiet at her big work party because the guests actually mattered. She said I would embarrass her. I stood by the window like she asked, until the guest of honor walked in, ignored her completely, and came straight to me. In one sentence, he exposed who I really was and shattered the world she built on status. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we bring you the most emotional, shocking, and unforgettable stories from Reddit and beyond. Today's story is about a man who was told to hide, to stay quiet, to blend into the background because his girlfriend thought he wasn't good enough for her important guests. But when the guest of honor arrived, everything changed in a single moment. If you believe in karma and the power of being true to yourself, hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss a story, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. This one will give you chills. Let's begin. I've always been a quiet person. Not shy, exactly, but comfortable in the background. I listen more than I talk, observe more than I participate. It's not that I don't have opinions or things to say. I just prefer to understand a situation before I jump into it. My ex-girlfriend, Vanessa, used to say I was socially invisible. She didn't mean it as a compliment. Vanessa was the opposite of me in every way. She was ambitious, outgoing, always networking, always climbing. She worked in public relations for a high-end firm, which meant her life revolved around appearances, connections, and being seen with the right people. When we first started dating, I thought our differences balanced each other out. I thought she liked my calmness, my steadiness, the way I could ground her when she got too caught up in the chaos of her world. I was wrong. What Vanessa actually liked was that I was easy to manage. I didn't make demands on her time. I didn't compete with her for attention. I was content to be in the background while she shined. For a while, that worked. For a while, I was happy just to be with her, even if I was always in her shadow. But as our relationship progressed, I started to notice things. Small things at first, then bigger ones. She never introduced me as her boyfriend, just as my friend, or this is, without any qualifier. She avoided bringing me to work events, saying I'd be bored. She never posted photos of us on social media, even though she documented every other aspect of her life. When I finally confronted her about it, she laughed it off. "You're so sensitive," she said. "I'm just not big on PDA online. You know that." I didn't know that, actually, but I let it go. I let a lot of things go. The turning point came about 2 years into our relationship. Vanessa had been talking for months about a party her firm was throwing. It was a big deal, she said. The biggest event of the year. All her important clients would be there, plus some very significant people from the tech and business world. She was nervous, excited, stressed. She bought a new dress, scheduled hair and makeup appointments, practiced her small talk in the mirror. One night, about a week before the party, she sat me down on her couch with a serious expression. "Babe," she said, "I need to talk to you about something." I waited. "The party next week. I want you to come." I was surprised. She'd never invited me to anything like this before. "Really? That's great. I'd love to." She held up a hand. "But there's something I need to ask you. Something important." I felt a flicker of unease. "Okay." She took a deep breath. "These people, the ones who'll be there, they matter. They're important to my career, to my future. I've worked so hard to build relationships with them, to earn their respect. And I need you to understand that tonight. You can't be yourself." I stared at her. "What does that mean?" "It means," she said carefully, "that you're not great in social situations. You're quiet. You're awkward. You don't know how to work a room. And that's fine normally, but not this time. This time, I need you to just stay in the background. Don't say much. Don't draw attention to yourself. Let me do the talking. Let me shine." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "You want me to hide? I want you to be supportive," she said, her voice sharpening. "I want you to understand that this night is about me and my career. It's not about you. It's not about us. It's about me making connections that will set me up for years. Can you do that? Can you just be quiet for one night?" I should have walked out then. I should have seen the red flags for what they were, a warning of everything that was wrong with our relationship. But I loved her, or I thought I did. I wanted to believe she was just stressed, just anxious, that she didn't mean to be cruel. "Okay," I said quietly. "I'll be quiet." She smiled, relieved. "Thank you, babe. I knew you'd understand. And look, it's just one night. Afterward, we'll celebrate, just the two of us. It'll be great." I nodded, but something inside me had shifted. A small crack in the foundation of how I saw her, how I saw us. The night of the party arrived. Vanessa spent hours getting ready. Hair, makeup, dress, jewelry. She looked stunning, like a movie star. I wore my best suit, the one I'd bought for my grandmother's funeral 2 years ago. It was the nicest thing I owned. On the drive to the venue, Vanessa went over her instructions again. Remember, stay in the background. Don't interrupt conversations. If someone talks to you, keep it brief and steer it back to me. I'm the one they need to know. I remember, I said, staring out the window. And don't bring up your work. It's not impressive compared to these people. Just say you're in IT or something vague. Don't go into details. My work. I worked for a tech company, a small startup that most people hadn't heard of, but we were growing, doing interesting things. I was proud of what I did. But to Vanessa, it was nothing. Just another thing about me that wasn't good enough. Got it, I said. The venue was a fancy hotel downtown, all glass and chrome and soft lighting. We walked in, and Vanessa immediately transformed. Her shoulders went back, her smile brightened, her voice became lighter, more musical. She was in her element. I followed her into the main room, which was already packed with well-dressed people holding champagne flutes and making small talk. Vanessa grabbed 2 glasses from a passing tray, handed me one, and whispered, "Remember, quiet." Then she was off, working the room like a pro. She glided from group to group, laughing, touching arms, nodding intently. I stood by the wall, sipping my champagne, watching. Invisible, just like she wanted. People glanced at me occasionally, but no one approached. I was clearly not part of their world. My suit was off the rack, my shoes were scuffed, my posture was wrong. I was a background character in someone else's movie. An hour passed. 2 hours. I refilled my champagne, ate some hors d'oeuvres, found a spot near a window where I could watch the city lights. Vanessa checked on me once, briefly, to make sure I was okay. I said I was fine. She nodded and disappeared back into the crowd. I was fine. I was used to being invisible by now. Then, around 9 o'clock, something changed in the room. The energy shifted, conversations quieted, heads turned toward the entrance. I looked up to see what everyone was staring at. A man had walked in. He was older, maybe 60, with silver hair and a commanding presence. He wore a perfectly tailored suit and carried himself with the confidence of someone who was used to being the center of attention. Behind him trailed a small entourage, assistants, maybe, or colleagues. I didn't recognize him, but clearly everyone else did. Vanessa materialized at my side, her eyes wide. "Oh my God," she whispered. "That's Richard Kensington. He's like a legend. He founded $3 billion companies. He's worth more than most countries. I've been trying to get a meeting with him for months. And he's here. He's actually here." She smoothed her dress, checked her hair, took a deep breath. "This is it. This is my moment. Stay here. Don't move. I'll find you later." Before I could respond, she was gone, weaving through the crowd toward Richard Kensington. I watched her go, then turned back to the window. The city lights sparkled below, indifferent to the drama unfolding behind me. I heard the crowd shift as Kensington moved through the room. People called out greetings, tried to shake his hand, get his attention. He acknowledged them politely, but kept moving, his eyes scanning the room as if looking for someone. Then I heard Vanessa's voice, bright and eager. "Mr. Kensington, I'm Vanessa Cole with Sterling PR. We've exchanged emails. I'm so honored to finally meet you in person." I glanced over. Vanessa had positioned herself directly in his path, hand extended, smile perfect. Kensington stopped, looked at her, and for a moment, I thought he might actually engage. But then his gaze shifted, past her, over her shoulder, directly at me. His face changed. The polite, distant expression softened into something else, surprise, recognition, warmth. He walked past Vanessa without a word, leaving her standing there with her hand still outstretched. The crowd parted for him. He walked straight toward me, toward the window, toward the invisible man in the off-the-rack suit. I froze. What was happening? Why was he coming to me? He stopped in front of me, and for a moment, we just looked at each other. Then he smiled, a genuine, warm smile that transformed his entire face. "Marcus," he said. "Marcus Chun. I'd recognize you anywhere. Your father showed me photos, but they don't do you justice." I blinked. You know my father?" He laughed, a rich, genuine sound. "Know your father? Your father saved my life. 25 years ago, I was a nobody, struggling to get my first company off the ground. I was behind on rent, behind on everything. One night, I was sitting in my car, ready to give up, well, let's just say it wasn't good. Your father was walking home from his shift at the hospital. He saw me, stopped, talked to me. He didn't know me from anyone. But he sat with me for 2 hours, listened to me, convinced me not to give up. He gave me hope when I had none. I stared at him, stunned. My father was a doctor, a kind man who dedicated his life to helping others. He never talked about his patients, never sought recognition. But this was something else. A few months later, Kensington continued. My company took off. I tried to find your father, to thank him properly. But he'd moved, changed hospitals. I lost track of him. Until last year, when I ran into an old colleague who mentioned him. I reached out, and we reconnected. He's an amazing man. An amazing father, from what he tells me. I nodded, still processing. He's the best. Kensington put a hand on my shoulder. He told me you were in tech, that you were working at some startup, doing great things. I asked him to put us in touch, but he said you'd want to make your own way. I respected that. But when I saw this event on my calendar, I asked for the guest list. And there you were. Marcus Chun. I came tonight specifically to meet you. The room was dead silent. I could feel every eye on us, on me. Vanessa was somewhere in the crowd, but I didn't look for her. I didn't care. I've been following your company, Kensington said. What you're doing with AI and logistics, it's brilliant. Game-changing. I've invested in dozens of tech startups, and I can spot talent a mile away. You've got it, Marcus. You've got something special. Thank you, I managed. That means a lot coming from you. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a business card. I want to talk. Seriously talk. About investment, about partnership, about whatever you need. Call me Monday. We'll have lunch. My treat. I took the card, my hand trembling slightly. I will. Thank you. He smiled again, squeezed my shoulder, and then turned to address the room. This young man, he said, his voice carrying, is someone you should all know. Marcus Chun. Remember that name. You'll be hearing it a lot in the next few years. Then he walked away, disappearing back into his entourage, leaving me standing by the window with a room full of stunned faces staring at me. For a moment, no one moved. Then the crowd surged toward me. People I'd never met, people who'd ignored me all night, were suddenly desperate to talk to me, to shake my hand, to give me their cards. The invisible man was suddenly the center of attention. I looked for Vanessa. She was standing where Kensington had left her, her face pale, her mouth open. Our eyes met, and I saw something I'd never seen in her expression before. Fear, regret, desperation. I turned away. I shook hands, accepted cards, made polite conversation. But my mind was elsewhere, processing what had just happened. Richard Kensington, the man she'd been chasing for months, had come to the party specifically to see me. And she'd told me to stay quiet, to hide, to be invisible. The irony was not lost on me. An hour later, the crowd had thinned. People had gotten their photos, their handshakes, their moments with the new person to know. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, ready to leave. I found my coat, headed for the door. Vanessa was waiting for me outside, leaning against the wall, her perfect makeup streaked with tears. Marcus, she said, her voice cracking. Please, let me explain. I stopped but didn't turn around. Explain what? That you told me to hide? That you were ashamed of me? That you spent 2 years treating me like a secret? I didn't mean. You did, I said, turning to face her. You meant every word. You told me to stay quiet because these people matter. But you know what I realized tonight? They don't matter. Not really. What matters is being true to yourself, to who you are. And I haven't been. I've been hiding too. Hiding behind you, letting you define me. That ends now. Her face crumpled. I love you. No, I said quietly. You don't. You love what I could do for you. You love the idea of being connected to someone important. But you never loved me. Not really. Not the real me. Marcus, please. Goodbye, Vanessa. I walked away. I didn't look back. I got in my car, drove home, and sat in my apartment for hours, staring at the wall. I should have felt victorious. I should have felt vindicated. But all I felt was empty, and sad, and free. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I called Richard Kensington on Monday, as promised. We had lunch, then dinner, then meetings with his team. He invested in my company, A significant investment that valued us at 10 times what we'd been worth before. He joined our board, mentored me, opened doors I didn't even know existed. My company grew. We hired more people, took on bigger clients, made headlines in tech publications. My face appeared in articles, my name mentioned in the same breath as other young entrepreneurs. The invisible man was invisible no more. Vanessa tried to contact me. Texts, calls, emails. She showed up at my apartment once, but I didn't answer. She sent a long letter, apologizing, begging for another chance. I read it, then threw it away. Some things can't be unfelt. Some wounds don't heal just because someone says sorry. I started going to therapy. I needed to understand why I'd stayed with someone who made me feel so small. Why I'd accepted being hidden, being quiet, being less than. The therapist helped me see that it wasn't just Vanessa. It was patterns I'd learned long before, ways of being that made me settle for less than I deserved. I started dating again, cautiously, differently. I looked for someone who saw me, really saw me, not who they wanted me to be. It took time, but eventually I found her. Her name is Elena. She's an architect, creative and grounded and kind. She doesn't need me to be anyone other than who I am. She loves my quietness, my observation, my steadiness. She calls them my superpowers. We've been together for 3 years now. We live in a house we designed together, with a big window overlooking the city. Sometimes I stand at that window and think about that night, about the man who walked past his social climbing girlfriend to find me, about how one moment can change everything. Richard Kensington and my father became friends again. They play golf together, have dinner with their wives, talk about old times. My father is proud of me, not because of the money or the success, but because I finally stopped hiding, because I finally saw myself the way he always saw me. Vanessa, I heard through mutual friends, left PR not long after that night. The embarrassment, the humiliation, it was too much. She moved to another city, started over. I don't wish her ill. I hope she found what she was looking for. I hope she learned that the people who matter aren't the ones with the most money or the biggest names. They're the ones who see you, who value you, who love you for who you are. I think about that night often, not with anger anymore, but with gratitude. Gratitude for the lesson, for the wake-up call, for the reminder that I am enough, that I always was. Elena knows the story. She's heard all of it, the good and the bad. One night, after I'd told her everything, she looked at me with those steady, kind eyes and said, "You know what I love most about you? That you stayed quiet that night. Not because she told you to, but because that's who you are. You observe. You wait. You understand. And then, when the moment is right, you step forward. That's not weakness. That's strength." I kissed her and held her close. In that moment, I knew I'd found my person. The one who didn't need me to be anyone else. Last month, my company was acquired by a major corporation. I walked away with more money than I ever imagined. But more importantly, I walked away with a team I loved, a reputation I'd earned, and a future full of possibilities. I'm taking a year off to travel with Elena, to see the world, to figure out what comes next. Before we left, I went to see my father. We sat on his porch, drinking coffee, watching the sunset. I thanked him for everything, but especially for being the kind of man who would stop and talk to a stranger in need. For teaching me, by example, what really matters. He waved it off, as he always does. I just did what anyone would do. No, I said. You did what you always do. You saw someone. You helped. And because of that, my whole life changed. He smiled, a little embarrassed, a little proud. I'm glad, son. I'm glad. We sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then he said, "You know, your mother would be so proud of you. My mom died when I was in college. Cancer. She never got to see any of this. The company, the success, the woman I love. But I feel her sometimes, in quiet moments, in sunsets, in the way Elena laughs. I think she's watching. I think she's proud." I'm writing this from a cafe in Paris. Elena is across from me, sketching something in her notebook, a faint smile on her face. The Eiffel Tower is visible in the distance, lit up against the night sky. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's everything. And I can't help but think about that girl, Vanessa, and her party full of people who matter. I wonder if she ever figured it out. I wonder if she ever realized that the people who really matter are the ones who see you when you're invisible. The ones who sit with you in your car when you're ready to give up. The ones who love you not despite your quietness, but because of it. I hope she did. I hope she found her way. As for me, I found mine. It wasn't the path I expected. It wasn't the path anyone expected. But it was mine. And it led me here. To this cafe, this woman, this life. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, if it made you feel something, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more real-life tales, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. You never know who might be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be seen. Remember, you are enough. You always have been. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise. Elena just looked up from her sketch and smiled at me. Ready to go? She asked. Ready, I said. And we walked out into the Paris night, hand in hand, toward whatever comes next. But the story doesn't end there. Because life never really ends. It just keeps unfolding, one moment at a time. And some moments, the ones that seem small at the time, turn out to be the ones that change everything. Like the moment my father stopped to talk to a stranger in a car. Like the moment Richard Kensington walked past a room full of important people to find me. Like the moment I finally walked away from someone who couldn't see me. Those moments ripple outward, touching lives we'll never know, creating futures we can't imagine. And that's the thing about being invisible. You never know who's watching. You never know who sees you, really sees you, when you least expect it. I spent so many years trying to be seen by the wrong people. Trying to earn love from someone who didn't know how to give it. Trying to fit into a world that wasn't built for someone like me. But the world doesn't need more people trying to fit in. It needs people brave enough to stand out, to be themselves, to trust that the right people will find them. They found me. A stranger in a car. A tech legend at a party. A woman in a cafe. They found me, and they changed my life. So if you're out there, feeling invisible, feeling like you don't matter, feeling like you're always in the background, keep going. Keep being you. Keep observing, keep waiting, keep trusting. Your moment is coming. The right people will find you. And when they do, you'll realize that you were never invisible at all. You were just waiting for the right eyes to see you. I know that now. I believe that now. And I hope, someday, you will too. Elena and I are back from Paris now. We're planning our next adventure. Maybe Japan, maybe Italy, maybe somewhere we've never even heard of. The world is big, and we have time. Time to explore, time to grow, time to be together. My company is in good hands. The acquisition went through, and the team I built is thriving. I'm still a consultant, still involved, but the day-to-day stress is gone. I can breathe. I can think. I can be. My father calls every Sunday. We talk about nothing and everything. His garden, my travels, the news, old memories. He's getting older, slowing down, but his mind is sharp, his heart is kind. I treasure every conversation. Richard Kensington and I still meet for lunch when we're in the same city. He's become a mentor, a friend, a second father in some ways. He tells stories about my dad, about that night in the car, about how one act of kindness can echo through decades. I never get tired of hearing them. And Vanessa? I heard she got married. A real estate developer, someone with money and status. I hope she's happy. I hope she found what she was looking for. I hope she learned to see the people who matter, not just the ones who shine. I don't think about her much anymore. The pain faded, replaced by gratitude for the lesson. She taught me what I didn't want. She taught me what I wouldn't settle for. And in a strange way, I'm grateful for that. Elena says I'm too nice, that I should be angrier. But anger is heavy. It weighs you down, keeps you stuck. I'd rather be light. I'd rather move forward. So I do. Every day, I move forward. Toward new adventures, new challenges, new moments. Toward the life I'm building, the love I've found, the person I've become. The man who was told to stay quiet. The man who was asked to hide. The man who was invisible. I'm not invisible anymore. And neither are you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing me. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps more people find these tales, and it means the world to me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, the quiet ones are often the ones with the most to say. Elena's calling me. Time for dinner. Time for another moment, another memory, another step on this incredible journey. Life is good. It really is. I'll leave you with this. The next time you're at a party, look for the person standing by the window, the one not talking, the one watching. Go talk to them. You never know who they might be. You never know what they might become. And if that person is you, keep watching. Keep waiting. Your moment is coming. I promise.